In the latest chapter of One Piece WA, the following is stated. But more important than the start of this meeting is the news that has grabbed the attention of the whole world. Big Mom, the emperor whose position has not wavered in decades, has had fangs bit at her by the young pirate Straw Hat Luffy. This event was reported in the newspaper, and according to certain sources, Straw Hat Luffy has 7 powerful pirate crews under his flag, and he is the great captain of over 5,000 subordinates in his fleet. With the legacy of his brother Ace behind him, the fact that he is a sworn brother of the second in command of the Revolutionary Army has also become a hot topic across the world. With his extraordinary charisma and leadership, he was able to convince the evil army of Germa, the Sun Pirates, and the Fire Tank Pirates to follow his command without delay. With his intelligence, he carefully planned his operation, and in the process, he managed to destroy the Queen's castle. His strength allowed him to defeat 2 commanders worth over 800 million and over 1 billion, respectively. Therefore, this incident is surely Straw Hat Luffy's victory. The 5th Emperor of the Sea has emerged. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what makes an emperor of the sea? What is an emperor of the sea? In this chapter, big news, fake news, old news, real news, whatever news you want to call them as, Big News Morgans, in this paper, has proclaimed that Luffy is the 5th Emperor of the Sea, after what he and allies have done against Big Mom in Tautland. On top of that, finding out recently, because it happened in the last arc, no, 2 arcs ago, Dressrosa, so I guess word hasn't spread until recently, but now knowing that he has a grand fleet of over 5,000 men, and on top of that, now knowing that he is the sworn brother of the second in command of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo, beating both Charlotte Cracker and Charlotte Katakuri in combat. Of course, details not there, obviously, but nonetheless, beat them. Monkey D. Luffy's name is now in the highlight. It is now being risen to astronomical heights. His bounty has tripled, which shocked me. I'll be real with you. Shocked me. 500 million to 1.5 billion berries.
Holy Jesus.
And now the president of the World Economic Times is saying that he is an emperor of the sea. Big claims. Big leaps. That is for sure. And it is fairly obvious. I forgot who said this, but I'm pretty sure it was Mugiwara Matt B. So shouts to him. It is clear that Oda is making a genuine push for Luffy to completely separate himself from the rest of the crew. Just how you can say Kaido is so farther ahead than the rest of the Beast Pirates. The same goes for Whitebeard, though he passed away. The same goes for Blackbeard. The same goes for Shanks. And the same goes for Big Mom. Oda is now taking Luffy, and he's driving Luffy into this position, into the status, to where he, compared to the rest of the crew, from a status standpoint, is so much further away. His crew, in a certain sense, will emulate the crews of the other Yonko. Where again, the other Yonko, even though we haven't heard of their bounties, if Katakuri is 1.05 billion, Big Mom must be in the 2 or 3 billions of the bare minimum. At the bare minimum. Kaido, I would assume, is even higher than hers. And maybe Shanks as well. And Oda is making the push for Luffy to be in those ranks. And Big News Morgans stating those words is the biggest push we've seen so far, stating that we have a 5th Emperor. But is this the reality? Big News Morgans is just one man. Creature. Duck. Whatever. Chicken. Big News Morgans is just one living entity, okay? And when you look at the other major powers in the world, like the Shichibukai and the world government, let alone the entire world itself, they have not gotten to the point where they have acknowledged, in particular, the people that live in the New World, they have not gotten to that point of acknowledging Straw Hat Luffy as an Emperor of the Sea, albeit news of this just broke in the last chapter. And when we look at the latest addition to the Emperors, the Yonko, which, by the way, that title still stands, because you cannot have 5 Yonko, just how you can't have 8 Shichibukai, because the Shichibukai are 7 and the Yonko are 4. But the title of Yonko still remains. The Goko are not a thing. Maybe in the next few chapters during the Reverie, Akainu and company, they will announce that yes, there is the Goko. We have a new emperor, the Yonko, Exne, the Goko, boom. Potentially, but we're not there yet. So the title still stands of Yonko, even though Big News Morgans is making a very big push to put Luffy in that position by gassing Luffy up. And mind you, unlike with Law, where Law and Luffy during Dressrosa were a clear established alliance, in the case of Luffy and Capone was following Luffy's orders. The salt is real. But when you look at Blackbeard, over the time skip, 2 major things happened for Blackbeard. Number 1, Blackbeard and Marco, the Payback War, where Blackbeard defeated Marco and the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates in this major battle, and they defeated them overwhelmingly. So in a similar sense, you could say, well, just how Luffy and company had defeated Katakuri, and Katakuri, for all intents and purposes, is the second strongest of the Big Mom pirates, and Blackbeard defeated Marco, who is the first commander of the Whitebeard pirates, and considered to be the second strongest of the Whitebeard pirates. So in a similar sense, what Luffy did is an almost parallel to what Blackbeard did when Blackbeard and Marco had their battle. And that is an undeniable fact. In a similar sense, we can buff Luffy and raise his status in a similar way that Blackbeard rose his status when he defeated Marco and company. And on top of that, when you look at how Blackbeard's forces have grown over the course of the time skip, to where now he has several fleets, and Luffy himself now has several pirate crews under his command, very similar to Whitebeard, exceeding over 5,000 men. There are major parallels there, very obvious parallels that, of course, one cannot ignore between Blackbeard and Luffy. However, there are 2 things, one of them is fairly obvious, and the other one I would argue definitely, that prevent Luffy from being an actual Emperor of the Sea. Number 1, combat ability.
Of course!
Very simply put, Luffy, as far as we can tell from a combat ability standpoint, despite the details of the Doffy v Luffy, or the Cracker v Luffy, or the Katakuri v Luffy, Luffy's combat ability, it is very safe to say, and I can argue this comfortably, is not Yonko level. Question: if I put Luffy, current day Luffy, up against Kizaru in a one-on-one fight, who do you think would win in that engagement? Think about where Luffy stands currently now, and then recognize where a lot of these powerful cats like Flamingo, like Cracker, like Katakuri stand against other powerful forces like the Admirals. And then think about how far those guys are from the Yonko. Definitely, Luffy has a ways to go from a combat ability standpoint to be on the Yonko tier. I would argue that. The second thing, and this is crucial, pivotal, Luffy has attained, you can say, the same degree, maybe, the same degree of reputation that Blackbeard attained when it came to defeating Marco. He has a fleet of his own, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. But Luffy, unlike Blackbeard, lacks the territory that Blackbeard has attained. And this goes back to Jinbei's words during Fishman Island.
その縄張りも熟知しており、親父さん亡き後、瞬く間に残された海域を制覇した。くしくもあの人から奪ったグラグラの力を使ってな。
Luffy has the reputation of the battle and the fight under his belt. He has the fleet under his belt, but he doesn't have the territory under his belt. And what does an emperor do? An emperor rules. An emperor flat out rules. If Luffy has no or very little territory to actually rule, then Luffy is not an Emperor of the Sea. Plain and simple. In the last chapter, Fishman Island and King Neptune just acknowledged themselves under the Striat flag. They just did that. And Fishman Island isn't even a territory in the New World because it's right under the red line. Luffy has no territory in the New World. He has 0 territory in the New World. Whereas Blackbeard has amassed all of Whitebeard's territory. And to be a Yonko, to be an emperor, is to rule in the New World. So yes, has Luffy made steps to become an Emperor of the Sea? Absolutely. But in my mind, and I would say it's fairly safe to say this, he's only halfway there. He has to not only amass the territory, but he also has to attain the combat ability of a Yonko. It's that cut and dry. You do have Bartolomeo and other folks of his alliance trying to go around to other territories in the New World, vouching for Straw Hat Luffy. But as far as we know, they have been successful. Maybe they have been, and maybe we'll find out, let's say during the reverie, if Luffy has attained territories that not even he knows. Maybe that's the case. Maybe. Because Bartolomeo was ballsy enough to burn down Shanks' nutty, absolutely insane. And odds are is that whatever happens in Wano Kuni, which will probably be the liberation of Wano Kuni from the Shogun and from Kaido's grasp, I really do not see them beating Kaido, not for a second. Land, sea, or air, Kaido's the strongest. Crazy. But they probably will free Wano Kuni from the grasp of the Shogun and of Kaido. And considering what we saw in Whole Cake Island, it is safe to say that Big News Morgans will also gas up Luffy at the end of Wano Kuni. Again, Oda's attempt to separate Luffy from the rest of the pack. And that'll be more recognition for Luffy and more fortification for him to become an Emperor of the Sea. Especially when he tangles with Big Mom, he gets the victory, he gets the W, according to Morgans. He tangles with Kaido and the Shogun Wano Kuni, and he gets the W then. So if he fights against 2 Yonko and gets 2 back-to-back Ws, it is very possible that at the end of Wano Kuni, Luffy officially becomes a Yonko of the New World, and the Yonko is erased and the Goko exists. But right now, let's hold. So I'm going to see you guys and gals later. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do, especially when I know that you all have a device called Zamaosu. You use Zamaosu to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad, and of course, comment in the comment section down below. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day.